Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Spring has sprung here, although it's a bit overcast today, but you can still see what I see. The front yard looks terrible. There used to be two really large trees here that just blocked everything, so you couldn't really tell. Now the trees didn't look good, but now that they're not here, oof, oof, oof. All right, I'm typically a function over form kind of fella, and I usually don't like spending my time trying to make things look nice, mostly because I can't maintain nice looking things, and so I gave up on that years and years ago. However, this is bad enough that when I drive up, I'm like, man, I gotta do something about that. And I'm tired of having that feeling. So I'm gonna do something about that. We are gonna make this better. So I've come up with a simple plan to make it better. It looks like this. I'm giving myself 3 days and 500 American dollars to execute said plan. Mostly because I don't want to spend more than 500 bucks on this, and I certainly don't want to spend more than 3 days. But I still think we can make this significantly better. This front porch area was built, a few years ago. It's actually really nice. We do enjoy sitting out here, but we built it and we never stained it. So it is time for this thing to get pressure washed, bleached, stained. Here we have the remnants of a 40-foot Douglas fir tree, victim to a recent storm. And over there we have the remnants of just the stump to a 70-foot oak tree that also had to come down after this guy fell, and this one was leaning over the house. I said, time to go. Because these two areas are so large and they're going to take a long time to sort of become something else, I think the best thing to do is actually build a raised bed around it, because eventually that mulch will kind of sink, but this whole area has been tilled. So we're going to build a raised bed here, we're going to build a raised bed there. We're either going to repair that raised bed or we're going to 86 it. I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll see. So I recently painted the house, but I lost all that footage, which is a bummer. But the foundation never got finished. Shocker. We have the world's saddest azaleas. I can't grow anything, so I'm not really sure what to do here. I think they're just gonna be here for now. Now in this area, we even had some sadder azaleas, but they are gone. So the plan is something evergreen, preferably edible. Probably a rosemary, and a rosemary. Need to plant some plants and then we'll mulch in around it. I wanted to do stone, but I have a ton of mulch from these trees, so we're going to use mulch because it's free and it's here. This is very sad, and it's easy to upgrade for under 100 bucks. We can buy some new fence panels, stain those as well, give it some life, and make it look less like that. And finally, I'd like to get, part of the driveway back. The asphalt goes all the way to right there, but yet the grass is just come over, and got 6 million cars, so having a little extra room on the driveway and a clean edge is a good thing. This is a disaster. I used to love coming to these places. Now I can't stand it. Well, I survived Home Depot. Never saw an employee that would consider helping me load this stuff, but the guy loading next to me offered a hand, which was super helpful. If you got a local lumber yard or hardware store you like, man, don't take that for granted. The big box stores are just the worst. Anyway, I got 2 8-foot panels, and we're going to replace the fence on the far side of the house. One's going to go in as an 8-foot panel, but I've got a gate in there, so I want an 8-foot panel, and then I need a 38-inch panel. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. The weather's coming in, so tomorrow's going to be a bust, and everything's going to be wet and have to dry. So not even going to deal with cleaning or staining or anything like that. That'll be later days. I just needed to store that somewhere, and well, maybe we can see how different this is going to look. It's going to be great. When something's real terrible, it's easy to make it better. Gang, this is going to be the solution for our foundation. That's right. Gray, Rust-Oleum, paint on anything, paint. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why? It's a cinder block foundation. Why aren't you using a masonry paint? Well, we don't need it to stick to masonry, guys. We are sticking this stuff to old paint. Any paint we put on there, we're just sticking to layers of old paint. This is fast, it's convenient, easy touch-ups. We'll see if it works. Never done this before. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you wouldn't see it. Didn't take all that long. Still, you know, decent workout. But that's a lot of where grass used to be that there is now more terrible, crappy driveway. But look at all that dirt. We're gonna reuse that in the raised beds. I also found this. This is a dime from 1971. I'm not saying it's been there since 1971, but it could have been there since 1971, given the condition of all of this. I don't know how to make it better than this yet, but this is still better than it was. That's all cleared off. This has never been stained, it's just pressure treated wood, but you can see the difference between what's been sun bleached and what's had furniture or shade the whole time. So we are going to take standard outdoor bleach, diluted high strength, in this, spray everything down, pressure wash it all off, let it dry, then we'll be ready for stain. Well, things were moving along, and then we're dog sitting the old black dog right there, and he ate the hose. So I gotta fix it or find another one. Winston McClobbers, did you eat the hose? Wag your tail if you ate the hose. All right, here's the plan. Don't have enough hands. Take the dog teeth marks out, put in this plastic thing, use hose clamps, hope it works so we can move on with our lives. Meaning, continue to pressure wash. So far so good. Little leak, but wait, a lot of leak. Let's tighten that down. Son of a gun. All right, well, that's significantly cleaner and better looking. The temperature has gone from 45 degrees to 70 degrees today, which I'm not complaining about, but I'm not dressed for that, clearly. He ate the hose. While I was out here, I pressure washed all the cars too. Yeah, I'm gonna let this dry for 24 hours. So in the meantime, we're gonna start prepping over there. So we're gonna jam some of this stuff down and then cover it in mulch because I have a ton of mulch. It's supposed to keep, I hate calling them weeds, unwanted plants, we'll say, from popping up. And then we'll figure out what we're gonna plant down here later. But this will be step one. I mean, we're improving already, but you know, when you start with garbage, it's easy to make some improvements, isn't it now? That's gotta dry overnight, and then we're gonna stain it, stain that. Maybe we'll lay out the raised beds and call it a day. Well, it's bright and early. You ever sleep with a 100-pound puppy on top of you? Trick question. It's impossible. Ask me how I know. The deck should be dry at this point. If you really want to know how I'm going to do this, I'll link to the video here where I did the deck restoration. But short version is we are using a penetrating oil-based wood stain because we want it to penetrate the wood, not sit on top of the wood. I'm using this product, which is the can I use on the deck, but there's not quite enough in there, so I am going to mix it with 2 new cans. One has the pigment in it, one is clear, because I kind of like the wood tones showing through and I want it to be a little lighter. So I'm going to mix all those into the 5-gallon bucket, and then we are going to apply using a roller and a brush. Much like cleaning with bleach, this is a project for clothes that you don't care that much about, or as I call them, clothes. Alright gang, the sun setting behind me should tell you that we are close to the end of day 2. Now, realistically, these have been about 8-hour days, ish. So we're somewhere between 14 and 16 hours into the project, but the porch is already dry and functioning again. Now this is hand-me-down porch furniture, but it'll do for now until I figure out exactly what I want. And after some searching, I'm pretty sure we're gonna end up building something if we do anything different, because it's either $3,000 or it looks, well, equally as bad as that. These raised beds are about as simple as possible. All I did was take deck board, which is the 5/4 by 6 inch, meaning it's 1 inch thick by 5.5 inches, right off the shelf from the home improvement store, put a couple of screws in the end, and that's it. Now, just a little refresher, I didn't really add dirt or anything else. I moved some dirt around and I still have some mound to reduce from the old raised beds over there. But this is basically the roots and the stump from the tree that was here that the stump grinder took out. Now, if a tree gets taken out, it's eventually going to keep sinking in as these, you know, wood fibers kind of decompose. But I thought, well, while that happens, let's turn that into a raised bed. We jammed some more deck board here to make a little border, covered that area in mulch. My mother gave me that. So there it is now. That's pretty cool, right? This other raised bed out here, same thing, just bigger tree, bigger root system, bigger stump. So there we have that. And then over yonder, we got the fence in. And hi there, that's me in the shadow there. I think it looks pretty sharp. We do have a bit of trash to get rid of, which is no big deal. This is the very rotten old raised bed. This is the rotten planter that was over there. And we've got some casualty garden tools. I understand we could replace and repair those, but some of those I've had for a long time, and well, it's just not where, I'm just not, you know, I don't get around to that stuff. So we got one more trip to the store to make to pick what plants we want to put over in this area over here. I've got to get the trash out of here, and I should do the right thing because I'm still under budget, and buy some grass seed, because there's parts that, well, I've never reseeded this yard. I've never even fertilized it. We got a little bit room left to make the weeds have some grass in between them there. Welcome to day 3. All right, gang. So we are on our way back to the big box home improvement store, where shockingly, all we need are the rosemary plants we promised we were going to do. So I know nothing about plants. It may as well be a space alien landscape when I'm walking through the garden section there, where it's just a bunch of plants, but we're gonna do our best. I think I am gonna stick with the rosemary. We'll see what they've got. But yeah, I'm kind of shocked that that's all we need. Usually a project is, you know, multiple trips to the hardware store. I will probably consider, I don't know, peeling off the dollars for the grass seed that we're gonna need. I think grass is just so dumb, but we've gone so far, you know? Gang, I survived the joint. We succeeded, and in order to, you know, not come back here as often, I actually loaded up for the next project. And I got you some petunias right there, riding shotgun. They actually make the truck smell lovely. Maybe they'll live in here. All right, in an effort to sort of complete the project, I went and bought grass seed. Contractor's Mix from this company. Now, what do I know about it? Not much, but the shiny package, not Contractor's Mix, was almost twice the price. So I thought, well, what do you get besides a shiny package? And then I didn't want to think about it, realizing I'm not going to maintain this or water it or anything else anyway. Is Contractor's Mix the right seed for you? That's a good question, because we bought it anyway. very good at this. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It doesn't say lousy at anything, so we're good. Well, team, we got 2 Rosemarys. I originally said 3. I know I said 3, but you see, I thought the spacing would avoid my gas line, which runs from there straight to the street. But it looks like, you know, putting them there's, yeah. So I was gonna do window, 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 but now we'll be fine. Be fine. Call 811 before you dig. No, that's actually real. I know where that gas line is. I know where it runs. I've had it marked relatively recently. So we're gonna put these in the ground. They gotta go through that barrier that we put down, and then we're sneaking up on doing some mathematics and calculating our time and seeing how we did. Well, would you look at that, gang? I usually don't follow through to this level, but I did it. This actually is going to serve several purposes. Number one, it's going to help with dealing with the rain that comes off of this awning that I like. But basically, this will help kind of break up the splash as it comes down, so it won't dig in just there. It also looks lovely, but the most important function that it serves is right there on the package. Popular in Greek dishes, used with chicken, lamb, oils, dips, that kind of thing. It's tasty. Look at that, 2 little Rosemarys. Those petunias, they're for you. This looks a lot like what we set out to do. In fact, it looks really, really close to what we set out to do. So the plan seems to have been executed on time and on budget, and it looks so much better. Is it gonna win Yard of the Month? No. Is that what we're after? Is that what we'll ever be after? Probably not. Maybe the azaleas will come back. I mean, type something in the comments if you know how to solve that problem. Is it perfect? No. But is it better? Yeah, it's way better. It looks not like a disaster area, but more like something that's really coming together. And it doesn't look like it needs 1,000 things to move forward right now. Things could improve, but like, it looks like one of those, you know? So in fact, it's looking so good, like slash better than I thought, that it's inspired me to continue this type of project and replace some fencing around the other side of the house, so that basically we're gonna go property to property line on the front with mostly aesthetic improvements, which is, gang, that ain't my style, but today we're doing it. Hours wise, I think we're somewhere between 16 and 18 hours, depending on, you know, what you consider working and waiting or whatever, but 2 days or 1.5 long days, something like that. Now, American dollars, I gave myself $500 to get this job done, and I believe I spent $472 all in, including $13 on some petunias. Now, full disclosure, because you can indeed do this yourself, but I did probably have about $100 worth of expendables at my disposal. I don't know that I used them all, but roller trays, rollers, sponges, brushes, rags. Let's call it $100, because I want to be as fair and honest as I can be, especially if you're thinking about tackling a project. And if you're watching this channel, I'm assuming you're doing it yourself and you're doing it on a budget, because, well, that's kind of what Let's Make It Better is all about, isn't it? Anyway, good luck on your projects out there. We will see you next time on Let's Make It Better when we do something else. See you then.